All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all the praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, His only begotten Son. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Wabarakathums, and hopeful elect. All right, now today through the Spirit, I'm going to a video entitled Watching the Signs. Watching the signs because Yahweh Bashem Shai gave us various things to measure the seasons and to know, how much closer his return is. And part of those signs is seeing these blood moons and seeing these various eclipses, which you had one that was on the Passover. We had one that was pretty recent because you read right here, AI overview in 2025, there will be 2 blood moons, total lunar eclipses. It says according on March 13th to 14th and September 7th to 8th. You see? So this is signs of Yahweh Bashem Shai's return. Signs that we're in the end times, the latter end times, to where Yahweh Shai is going to get ready to return. You see? These are the blood moon one. You see? So this is stuff that's not normal occurrences because the Lord said it's going to be signs in the heavens and strange things happening like this to show that my return is happening, and we're to, see those things and then, just stay on our watch and watch how Most High starts working more and how he starts making more stuff happen on our behalf. All right, I want to get some precepts on that. To start here, this is Luke 21 and 25. It says, there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. You see how these various signs, blood moons, lunar eclipses, it says, and in the stars. And upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. You see, he's talking about end time prophecies. It says, men hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken in Yahweh Shai's return. You see, and we're seeing a lot of those fatherships reveal themselves. The chariots. And that great fathership which Yahweh Shai is going to be in is getting ready to return. Because, check this out. It says, verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That cloud is the chariots. You see? So these signs and various things, we're not to get scared or get all crazy about it. We're supposed to look at it. Of course, you fear Yahweh Bashem Shai. You're increasing your fear of the Lord. But you don't get scared, scared to the sense of where you're like, oh, snap, the world about to be destroyed and all, and that kind of spirit. You get in that spirit of okay, let me get right with the Lord and then start paying attention and watch what the Lord is doing. You see, use it for that type of motivation. This is Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. The salvation is near. You see, so that's what we're supposed to do when we see these various signs. Our salvation is near, and then, get ourselves in order. We all, speaking to myself first and foremost, getting the house in order. So that way we can have those good garments on. You got to get ready for the marriage. You can't just be any kind of way. You got to have those beautiful garments on, which is truth. Be girded about with the truth and that spiritual armor. This Jeremiah 10 and verse 1 and 2, it says, hear ye the word which Yahweh Bashem Shai speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. The sons of patriarchs of Jacob and the scattered of Jacob. It says, because the scattered abroad, the 12 sons of Jacob have been scattered amongst the 4 corners of the world. But so you have Israelites that look like every nation. You see, Jeremiah 10 and 2, it says, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Shai, learn not the way of the heathen. Man, you see, that's the way of the nations, to worship idols and worship creation versus the creator. See, they don't look at the signs also and start looking at some zodiac shit and all that stuff, which some of the stuff is true, but they idolize it. They look at it like an idol. You see? And they don't acknowledge Yahweh Bashem Shai, who's really the head that's in control of all these things. They'll worship different, stuff like that, stars and shit like that, man. It says, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. And, don't be scared and, trying to, do all that. What's the word called? The word to say? There's different witches and, witchcraft where they try and predict future and all that stuff. We know what the future is going to be based upon the scriptures. We're not to be like the heathen nations, that heathenistic custom of trying to, read stars, do all this other shit, CERN and all that. That's what Esau is into, man. You see? trying to ultimately tap on the left-hand side. But it says, for the heathen are dismayed at them. You see, the heathens, that's who gets scared, of the signs, because they know that their kingdom is about to fall. But as for us who are Israel, especially the elect, we're supposed to be excited and get happy at the signs, and then ultimately use the signs to as a motivator to, be more on our watch, and to get ourselves in order. So that way when Yahushua returns, he'll accept us. You see? Let's get our next one. It's Matthew 24:32. It says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and put forth leaves, ye know summer is nigh. You know what season we're in. We're in a season of great judgment. Missiles being shot out. A time period of great death and famine, pestilence, economic decline, martial law, police state. We're in that time. You see, it's not, the Lord is having it set up where it's happening gradually. And also, the Lord is having the grace period happen so we can get ourselves together. But ultimately, we're close to that time of that full-on, all-out hell breaking loose. We're already in the beginning stages of it, but it's going to get worse. It says, so likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. And we know that great tribulation has to happen before Yahushua returns. So we're in a time period of that, in the beginning stages of it right now. You see? So we know that, Yahushua's return is here. You see? So we know what season we're in. So we got to continue to watch. All right, it's Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. You see? Live with understanding and use the wisdom that Yahweh Shai has given us. Speaking to myself first and foremost. Especially in these perilous and evil times. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. We're in some very perilous times, evil times. So the way to survive these times is going to be by us believing in Yahweh Shai and serving him. You see? Verse says 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of Yahweh Shai is, what the Lord's will is for you. And he wants us to, serve him. And then whatever gift he's giving you, bring it to the ministry and serve with it. Just do whatever makes you useful for the ministry. Whatever gifts the Lord gave you. And that's it. And believe. See, believe. Treat the brethren correctly. And then guess what? Whatever gift the Lord gave you, just utilize it. And that's you feed the sheep in whatever gift or format the Lord gave you. 2 Ezra 9, and I'm going to give verse 1 and 2. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past which I've told thee before, which we're talking about right now, these signs that show the end times. It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he hath made. And we're in that time period of Yahushua's return. So we got to continue to measure, and we can't get in this kind of spirit right here, which that's what we ended off with. It says, Sirach 5 and 1 and 2, set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for life. That means you get complacent. You're not looking for Yahushua's return, and you're not paying attention to what's going on. The downfall of this kingdom. You're not watching it. Verse 2, it says, follow not thine own mind and thy own strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. You see, to do your own will versus the Lord's will. Because guess what? This is what's going to lead to. This is Sirach 5. I'm going to jump down to 7. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh Shai, especially when he's showing you all these signs to show he's getting ready to return. It says, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh Shai come forth. And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. You'll die when Yahweh returns. He's not going to accept you. If you're not of the elect, then the non-elect, they're not going to be serving the Lord. They're not going to be utilizing whatever gift the Lord blessed them with. They're going to be, putting all their energy into this age we're in right now, this queendom versus the kingdom to come. So Yahushua is not going to accept them. All right. But anyways, the point I wanted to go into, Lord willing to edify, I like to end it off by saying, call hello Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, Double Honor City Apostles and Elders, Great Millstone, Room Teach Well. Next time, come my Shalom.